Hi folks, I'm Rusty Wallace. Welcome to Win. Hey, here's one of the funniest questions I've ever been asked. Do you and your race team race full-time for a living? Some people really think we show up at the racetrack on Friday, race on Sunday, and you got the rest of the week off. I tell you, I'd hate to think how many hours our race team works during the week. Nobody punches a time clock at my shop. Why don't we just show you what a race week is really like? We'll start at the end of the Trans-South 400 in Darlington, and 7 days later take the green flag in Bristol, Tennessee. But hey, I'm sorry to tell you, man, this thing starts with a bang.
And Rusty Wallace had moved up to 11th position for this race, but I don't know, it doesn't look good for him.
He was running 678, and you click off to 675 or 673.
Was it that tore up?
Yes.
Didn't run that good?
I mean, it's just all down the straightaway, just killing you.
We're sitting different because my rear tires are up on the pavement over here.
Can we back it up? Track it back?
Yeah, but I got everything underneath the trailer right now. You start clearing everything out from underneath the trailer. All right, let's go on up. I got control. All right, boys, let's give her a push here. W on 2. 1, 2. Paul, you watch the roof.
Just go get the picture inside, please. My mom loves Rusty Wallace. He knows a lot of it.
I'm the last one here, man.
It's flying a good way to wind down.
I love flying. Just especially tonight, it's so calm and it's quiet and the sun's getting ready to set, and we've had a crappy day today, and you got to look forward to something. And I've won a lot of races, and a lot of good things have happened, and somebody asked me a little while ago, how in the heck can you have a bad day and be in such a good mood? And I said, well, you know, I've done this for so long, got a lot of good fans to follow you, and get on the plane, somebody gives you a good cold Miller. I like that. And it's just a lot of fun, you know. Stuff happens and you got to deal with it, and that's it. Where's Roland? Is he here? Is he in a plane? There he is. Pilot! You get to be on my new television show, Win.
Oh, yeah?
Say hello to all your fans.
How you doing?
It's Roland Kerr, my pilot. He's pretty good. Hey, Scott, look at this. Pull your damn pants back up. These guys, I tell you, they just work their pants right off themselves. I'll tell you what. My guys work hard now, I tell you.
Well, I am real proud when I get, you know, to drive the truck, and got everybody on my team has worked as hard as they can, and they've put in long hours at the shop. I have to put in at least as much effort as they do. You know, they work at nights and every day of the week. So it's my responsibility to get their week's worth of work to the racetrack.
You sit on your rear end and you don't do nothing. If you don't do nothing, you say, hey, we won 8 races last year. We won 10 the year before. Hey, we're good, you know. You're going to get your ass in kicked in. Let me tell you next year. It just happens that way. You got to keep developing and keep getting it better. Same with the motors. research and development stage. We're changing the bodies around different than we've ever done. But we're going for things that we gotta do to keep better.
Win is presented to you by Allied Signal's Fram filter products. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. And by Autolite spark plugs and wire and cable products. Autolite spark plugs, guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go.
We come home from Darlington Sunday night, okay? Monday, we unload the wreck, we strip the wrecked car, and we get it up here on the the fixture and check all of our points. And as you can see, we've had to weld a snout on it. And during that time, we've got our Bristol car ready to go race. We've got our spare car, the Richmond car. It'll be the spare for Bristol. We've got it race ready. We've prepared a car to go to the wind tunnel. We've gone and had conducted a wind tunnel test at Lockheed on Wednesday, and the cars are virtually ready to go now. Okay, what these guys are doing here is they're putting a final prep on the car for this week at Bristol. Billy Wilburn and Todd Parrott, Jeffrey Thousand, and Scott Robinson.
During the week, I try to keep the truck as clean as it can get and get the spare windshields and maybe polish the wheels, go through the whole toolbox, sort the drills and recharge all the batteries and clean the cords and things like that.
Everybody said, boy, what do you guys do with your time off? We don't have any time off. There is no time off. It never changes. We always say, well, if we can plan it a little bit better, we'll get a day off here and we'll get a day off there, and guys can spend a little bit more time at home. It just unfortunately really never happens.
My name's Todd Parrott. I'm the chassis specialist here on the Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird. And this week, after Darlington hasn't been too bad because the car that we're taking this weekend to Bristol has been sitting here in the shop pretty much since last week, ready to go, so to speak. The only thing I had to do is come home, change the steering box, and put the 4 springs in the 4 shocks under the car that we're going to run at Bristol, and then set the car up yesterday.
My name is Dave Maneri. I'm the body shop manager. My job consists of painting, between me and Rocky, painting the cars, decaling them, taking care of glass, inner panel, just anything on the outside of the race cars.
I'm David Little, and I'm the fab shop manager. I basically make sure all the stuff gets done on the cars, and myself and the other fellows in there have the input on what we're going to do to the cars and get them ready every week. And we start with a car just opposite as you would a house. With a house, you start from the foundation up, which we do basically with the frame. But when we put the body on, you start from the top and go down. You go to the top, the deck lid, and the hood, and then you put your sides on.
Right now we're breaking in an engine, which will run about an hour, and change valve springs on it, and do some loading, and see how much horsepower and stuff it'll make. Mainly all we look at is numbers. Oil pressure, oil temperature, water temperature, vacuum fuel flow, our correction factor, air-fuel ratio. And this here's the RPM the engine's running at, corrected torque, corrected horsepower, and brake specifics.
Well, we're going to start our weekend off at, we got the truck loaded and we're ready to go shopping here. My mom's going to love this. I know where every item is in the store. It's pretty much routine. I have to get some sugar for the coffee. Call me Super Shopper. Don't need any diapers.
This is my favorite aisle, the cookie aisle. And I already have enough Fat Freak. Those really don't go over real well. Oreos is a big hot item. And a chocolate chip cookie. Doritos. And health and beauty aids, that won't help our teams. I would like to have 3 pounds of roast beef, 2 pounds of beef bologna, 3 pounds of ham.
$320.32.
The alligator on the right-hand lane. I don't know, it doesn't take a whole lot to keep me motivated. I got my Diet Dr. Pepper here and put a Janet Jackson tape in and I'm ready to go.
Win is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place.
Hey, it's not like the good students in the last 3 years.
We've got to get this stuff just right. No, actually, this morning's been pretty routine for here at Bristol. We usually come here, unload off the truck, and it takes Rusty a few laps to get, you know, used to the track and everything, because it's a totally different place than anywhere you've been all year long, and try to always keep the car as perfect as I can. You know, I got all kinds of measurements all over the race car. It's just a way that I can always just, if I think something's not right, instead of having to pull strings and do all that type of stuff and getting all the trick gauges out to check the rear end housing center line, I can just go off the rotor.
Hi, I'm Sean Parker, tire specialist on the Miller Genuine Draft with Rusty drives. And my main job is to deal with the tires when we come to the racetrack. They come with regular compressed air. We change them, put compressed nitrogen air.
So far, everything's looking really good. You know, it's been a normal Bristol. We've unloaded, got here this morning, practice started at 11 o'clock sharp. There hasn't been really any mishaps. This is midnight, my favorite car. And so I've won this race several times with the same car, and I've won it with different cars also. But we unloaded with a basic setup, the setup that we've set on a pole with or we've run quick with, and we've done that same thing today. And the car ran really quick, and we've adjusted just a little bit, little tire pressure stuff to adapt to the different 100-pound weight deal like we've been messing with. But it's running good. All systems go right now. Now the big deal's going to be qualifying. We've got to get, that's the next thing we're going to do, get out there and see how she qualifies, but I feel good about it. Frantic. We've got an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes of practice time, and so there's no time to sit around and talk about it and have a committee discussing. You got to react right away and just go after it.
There is not one word to describe Rusty Wallace. I'm not saying he's emotional, but he's high-strung. Yeah, intense. He's pretty intense.
Well, a lot of people say intense. I would say probably more focused. He thinks racing 24 hours a day. The only time he really gets his mind off racing is when he's behind the seat in his plane. He loves to fly, but the rest of the time he's talking racing. It don't matter. If we go out to eat, he's drawing on napkins with a Sharpie. We reinvent the wheel sometimes.
We're changing right front spring, left front spring, right rear spring, and left front shock, for the race. We're going to go back basically to the setup that we ran here the second race that we won the race here in August last year.
I'm Scott Robinson, and I build and maintain Rusty's transmissions at the shop. Then when the motor change goes on, I'm the guy that goes under the car and we have a guy that does like left side, right side. I go under the car and hook up everything under there. And then on Sunday, I'm a jack man.
Right after the Busch race, there'll be another practice. We'll have another hour of practice. It's called happy hour. We'll run that for an hour, just an hour practice. That'll be our last practice, and then we'll come in Sunday morning and get the car prepped for the race. We'll spend all morning doing that and start the race.
Okay, Earl, just be running slow, just scuffing a little bit right now. 4. Todd, look at those guys. Sean, look at them tires. Make sure they look like they got enough scuff in them. Okay, Mark's running a 35 and 35 and a 45. Okay, I tell you what, that pretty well does it then. Because I don't want to take a chance of taking another set of tires.
Are you a Cub Scout? Or you just steal that shirt from somebody? I'm your bigger brother. All right. We're rolling, guys.
Look, if I get behind them all, I want you to throw a lot of marbles out in front of competition for me, okay?
Okay.
All right. Throw them hard now.
Promotional consideration for Win is provided by Sony.
Sony ESP electronic shock protection protects your music from almost any jumps, skips, or sudden stops in the Sony Car Discman CD player.
And Stock Car Racing Magazine. Subscribe to the world's most popular racing publication at the one-year discount price of $14.97. Call toll-free 1-800-333-2633. And by Allied Signals Bendix Brakes, the best-known name in brakes. Autolite presents Force in Your Face.
I think one of the toughest things you can do in life is trying to fill the shoes of a superstar. Let me give you an example. We're going to talk about a couple of them here. One, Don the Snake Verdome. Plenty tough shoes to fill there, but there's a young kid out there, Larry Dixon, who's climbing in that cockpit every week of that 300-mile-an-hour car, and he's doing a heck of a job. Then on down the road south in NASCAR country, there's another group of guys, okay? Kyle Petty for one. Here's a guy, unbelievable money, drives a Mercedes, has a ponytail. He's created a whole new image in NASCAR, right? But every time he goes around that racetrack, you know what they say? There goes Richard the King's son. Kyle, that's just the way it's going to be. You know what, Rusty? You got the same problem. You got two brothers, Kenny and Michael, trying to fill your shoes. They're doing a dang good job.
Yeah, Forrest, you know what? I do have a problem. Those brothers of mine, they're getting sick of being called Rusty's brothers. Now let's get back to the story.
He'll come in, kind of go over the car, look around and everything, ask everybody how things are going, and look inside, and he'll say, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Okay. No, it's not a matter of all trusting my guys. I trust all my guys. I do. I mean, I can run 200-300 miles an hour in that car, and I trust them as far as when it comes to mechanical safety, when it comes to in preparing the car. But when it comes to making the right selection on a spring or a shock, that's something that's got to be, the driver has to give the feedback to the team. Or some drivers get out of the car and go, that's pushing or loose, fix it, I'll be back, I got to get a hot dog, you know. That's not me. I got to get right up in the tailpipe with them.
What we have here is the NASCAR inspector checking the air pressure in the tires before the car goes across the scale so they can properly check the camber. Well, go across the scales, check the weight, make sure you're good there. They check the camber and rear and housing. Make sure you don't have too much. Legal limit's 1.9 degrees on the left and the right.
Hour before the race, get it on the line, get the pit set up, relax a little bit, get your breath. You wind up holding it for the next 500 laps.
This is what it all comes down to. All dialed in, ready to go. Now it's time to bring out the can of whip ass.
Over 75,000 plus fans will be in the stands today, making this the largest crowd ever.
Well, that's a week from checkers to green. Just 1/31st of a season. Multiply that times 60 teams, every one of who dedicates the same effort, the same commitment, and you get a sense of why some of us feel this sport and the people involved are so very special. You know, whether it's Rick Hendrick Racing, Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, and the Richard Childress team, or Dave Marcus, the Sunday to Friday effort is 100%. Hey, do yourself a favor. Don't ever ask any of those guys if they run full-time for a living. I'm Rusty Wallace for Win.
Win is presented to you by Allied Signals Fram filter products. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. And by Autolite spark plugs and wire and cable products. Autolite spark plugs, guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go.